talked a lot about the physical body, things to support the physical body, but I think what I didn't get, and a lot of people don't get, is that it's the mind, body, soul. So we come in, and I know you've talked about this, with a mission with karma, with past lives. So now here we are. How do we pay attention to that?
Well, I believe that all major illnesses are karmic. I don't know about most minor ones, but major ones. And so if you have a major problem, one of the best things you can have is a past life therapy session with someone who knows how to do that properly.
How do we find people that know what they're doing? And this is a...
Well, hopefully someday soon I'm going to have a list of those who've been certified by Morris Nettleton, because I consider Morris the most outstanding past life therapist that I know. By the way, at our new National Institute...
Are you going to be doing past life
Oh,
regression?
yes. Kathy Farmer is a psychologist who worked with me for a number of years, and Kathy will be doing past life therapy there.
Sign me up. That's so great. And I want people to know, if you do go for past life regression and it doesn't work, it doesn't mean that it's not going to work. It really depends, I think, also on the connection with the practitioner.
Absolutely.
And another thing that you're big on, and you actually groomed Carolyn Mace, am I pronouncing her last name? Carolyn
Mace.
Mace, is medical intuitives. Now, here's another issue, because a lot of them don't know what they're doing. How do we guide people to medical intuitives that could assist them?
There are only 3 that I can recommend.
Who are they?
At this point in time. Carolyn, who doesn't do private readings anymore.
Right.
Robert Lightman, Bob Lightman, Leichtman in Baltimore, and Kay Randall-May in Phoenix.
And that's it. Your list has shortened now. So, yeah, because you have to be very careful.
I don't know others that have been tested by me enough that I can put a stamp of approval on them.
And can our audience call them if we have the information up? Are they open for...
Yes, they're on my website.
Okay. So if you're stuck and you're trying things, or if you can't get out to see Norm, which I highly recommend, then I would totally go the medical intuitive and past life regression route, because this is what we're doing here. We're working in all these areas. We can't ignore them, really, especially if there's and you talk about a lot of examples in your book. There was a woman whose throat, she had major issues. Can you talk about that just for...
Yes, she's the first one that Carolyn is the one who told me to do the past life on her. This woman had a totally anesthetic, if you will, throat. We thought it was diabetic neuropathy because she had no gag response. So Carolyn said, and the woman knew I was getting a consult with Carolyn. I didn't tell what Carolyn said, because Carolyn said, I see her being struck across the throat in a past life. So I did a past life session on her. She saw herself in some kind of Polynesian, perhaps, Pacific Ocean little community, captured by pirates. She's in the bottom of the ship. It's attacked by another pirate boat, and a beam breaks loose, and she's killed with this beam across the throat. After that experience, she then tells me that she is concerned that her husband has been sexually abusing their 2 sons. She divorces her husband, and the total numbness of her throat goes away, recovers.
So it was a combination of connecting with the past life, and then he probably was a part of that. He's
Yes.
probably the one that did something to her, or God knows
Might have
what.
been one of the pirates.
One of the pirates. And then there was something else which you talk about a lot, and I think it's so important, which is forgiveness of others and self.
Ah, yes. Yeah. Well, let's talk about my karma in this life.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because I love what
I
you
could
said
talk a long
about
time
you.
about that. I get my number one karmic situation in this life. In 1995, I was paralyzed by someone who came down to show me his hot hands. And he put his hands here. I thought he was going to have hot hands. Put his hands here, he jerked my neck 180 degrees in both directions and dislocated my spine. I was paralyzed.
But did he own that? What did he say?
He left.
He ran out?
Yeah. and I had to have emergency surgery. My spine was over 50% compressed. And I knew when it happened, it had to be karmic. Things like, I figured I must have cut off his head to bring it up. Well, I figured I didn't cut off his head, I had him murdered. Several hundred years ago, a life of which I'm not at all proud, I was a mean SOB.
Were you an SOB? Okay,
I was, I was sort of Saddam Hussein type person. And I'm not proud of that. I've come a long way in 300 years, baby. But
That's hysterical.
I still have weakness. I still have clumsiness in my legs. I don't focus on it.
Did you forgive him?
Oh, yes. I knew.
So,
Absolutely.
So how do we tell people to bring that forgiveness in, and how being angry actually is so, it really injures us?
Well, my favorite comment is holding a grudge is like taking poison and expecting it to kill the other person.
I love it.
That's absolutely important. And so if I know, and I do, that this is karmic, then obviously I've got to forgive him and hope that he forgives me. Because I don't want to go back to that karmic thing again, and I'm glad he didn't kill me. And I can live with my weakness and my clumsiness in my legs because I don't focus on it.
Right.
Whatever it is, nothing is worth committing suicide over, in my opinion.
So we talked about forgiveness, and now I want to go, everything is a frequency. Everything is energy, right? Everything
Yes.
you do, all of your instruments. So we talk about staying in a higher vibration. Can we talk a little bit about fear and love, and what are some ways we can stay in a higher vibration?
Well, of course, I believe that when you have a fear and you cannot change it, you detach. Wallowing in manure does not help.
Right.
So you need to detach from those things you cannot change. That doesn't mean you don't try to change things. You try to change what you know it's possible to change. Other things you just have to detach from. And the way to do that best is with air bliss, probably, but also relaxation. Just breathing.
Oh wait, we didn't talk about, which we should, your Relax Mate. Because relaxing and breathing, actually spirit and energy cannot move through us if we have PTSD, if we're in fight-flight, we actually can't access our divinity. That's like a really interesting concept, I think.
95% of people putting this on with eyes closed
Right.
will be in a deep state of relaxation within 5 minutes.
Wow, so this is called the Relax
Shealy Relax
Shealy
Mate.
Relax Mate, and you can also get this on Norm's site. So you just put it on, eyes closed, and I'll see you guys later. Oh, it's really cool. So it's colors, it's flashing
Yeah,
colors.
and most people prefer blue, but we have red. You can mix red with it, or you can go to all red if you prefer, but it's with your eyes closed. ADHD kids particularly like this. It really calmed them down just instantly. And so this trains the brain to go into the state of relaxation. Autogenic training, my favorite self-regulation.
What is autogenic
It's
training?
been around for 100 and soon 3 years. It is a self-hypnosis tool that was introduced by Johann H. Schultz in 1912. My arms and legs are heavy and warm. My heart beats calm and regular. My breathing's free and easy. My abdomen is warm. My forehead's cool. My mind is quiet and still. Now you take 20 minutes of doing that. It will cure 80% of stress illnesses if you take 20 minutes a day for 3 months.
So you're saying if you talk to your body will listen and respond.
Exactly.
So that's this disconnect. Like if we communicate with our bodies,
Absolutely.
there's going to be a relationship. And then if we take it up to spirit, are there any practices that, I'm not a meditator. It's hard for me. I'd rather walk and meditate. But is there anything that you
Oh,
think
sure.
is
There
good?
are all kinds of ways of doing it. But basically, you need to put yourself into a relaxed state, and then you can create images that you relate. My favorite image for the soul is a 5-pointed sky blue star. And so you can connect with that. My favorite symbol for God is a 6-pointed star that is white. But there are all kinds of guided imageries that can help you connect with those two.
And okay, so we were talking, there's so many energy healers. There's so many people out there professing they can heal you. They have workshops, they take people's money, they're telling you to jump up and down and read this and do that. How can we tune in to be best directed to what's going to help us, and how can we protect ourselves? Because a lot of people are very innocent. I was.
You know, I can only say that in general, a certified massage therapist who's doing massage is likely to be safe.
Right.
Reiki is generally safe. I think it's very difficult to choose anything beyond that because there's no certification that does it. Now, I have been certifying people in the use of the oils. I call it transcutaneous acupuncture because you're not putting any needles in. But even those people need to be careful not to do medical things. They are showing people how to do, but unless they are physicians or nurses, etc., they don't know what not to do.
So you have to kind of trust your own. If someone says go to this person or that person, you really have to tune in and see if that person is right for you.
Exactly.
Resonates with you.
And if it doesn't feel right, then don't do it.
Now, did you have any inclination that guy was going to twist your neck? If you think back.
Oh, no.
So that was totally karmic. I had someone doing energy work who said he had someone push him from behind. He came crashing down on my sternum and it was cracked. And so I guess that was karmic too.
Join the club.
Wait, I think we were both SOBs in past lives, which is why we're doing service work, I have to tell you. But you've certainly made up for it.
Well, I hope so. One of my goals for the last 40 plus years has been not to create any negative karma in this life.
Right, which happens, so every thought's a prayer. Everything that you do is a prayer. And when you're opinionated, like we both are, you kind of have to watch it.
Exactly.
A little bit. So even your feelings about Big Pharma and all of that, it's like you speak your truth and we send them. How do we deal with that?
Well, you remember that wonderful line in My Fair Lady, why can't a woman be like a man?
Yes.
But why can't everybody be like a Sagittarian and be blunt?
Right. Well, I'm a rising Sag, so there you go.
Yeah.
Better to be blunt.
Now, another insight, in fact, I have a newsletter coming out on this next month. Astrological tools. I believe everybody should have a good astrology chart.
I agree.
You want to know your sun sign. That is your natural inclination in life. Your moon, that's your emotional control.
What's your moon?
My moon is Pisces.
Oh, okay.
You want to know your ascendant or rising sign. Mine is Libra, fairness. And you want to know your north node.
Yes, the karma.
And interestingly, my north node is also Pisces.
Which is gentle.
Well, but the challenge
Right.
it is to learn to trust it. Now, interestingly, my mother was Pisces, and that's my moon, so that's emotion. My father was Sagittarian, and so if your parents have a major place in your chart, I think that's also important.
The astrology chart is so important. It's when your soul's blueprint, when you have chosen to incarnate, and you need someone good who's not going to interject their stuff in it. And I will have great people up on Myhealingrooms website that I've used. Do you have people, astrologists, that you recommend too? And there's different astrology. There's Vedic, there's
Yes.
whatever. And it's an amazingly helpful tool. I was told in this life I have to serve or suffer, so I'm serving. I give in, I wave the white flag. So what is your wish for the remainder of your time on this planet? What is your wish for everybody?
Well, I wish everybody could be responsible and organized, because it's the best way to protect yourself and create and help other people. And that's why last year I donated to Missouri State University this 256-acre farm, this research facility, and I endowed the Mary Charlotte Bailey Shealy Chair of Conscientious Psychology. And I want that individual to do research, not about people who are conscientious, we don't need to work on them. How do you help people who aren't conscientious become so? They have lots of ideas.
So what are some ideas? I just want to know, how do we help people to become more conscientious?
Well, I think you teach them the kinds of common sense things we've been talking about, among other things. You teach them how to relax and let go. You teach them autogenic training. You use music to calm them. I think that there are numerous ways. I'd like to see tools that can be used in schools.
That would be so important.
I have a feeling that if we actually did aromatherapy in a classroom, just doing this could make a big difference. Somebody just this week told me that she had in the same office, in one of those big offices where they have little things, some woman had something happened, broke out crying. She just went over and just actually put 2 dabs of this on her, and within a moment she was smiling. And so I think that it would be nice to see things like that done in schools.
So it's awareness of aromatherapy, of music. Music is so healing.
Powerful.
Vibration, it's
Vibrational
all vibration.
music too.
Right, vibrational music. Animals, I think, are a huge part of our healing if we tune into it. The
Agreed.
horses, I think, are incredible healers. I've seen it.
So are dogs.
And dogs are incredible, really incredible. And are the people that you see in your clinic, are they going to have access to the tools that you have here? You've got healing beds and crystal beds and
Yes.
music. Are they going to come up here?
No, we'll have reproduced them at
So that's all going to be down there?
in the clinic.
Wow, I'm so there already. I'm excited. What I want to say, if someone who's watching this, and I've been there, a lot of people I know have been there, when you feel so hopeless, and that's mind, body, soul, what's the first thing that you might turn towards?
Well, I think there's 3 things that ought to be tried as soon as possible. One is Air Bliss, one is the Relax Made, and the third one is the LIS cranial electrical stimulator. Saul Liss brought me this back in 1975, and I discovered that if you use this, trying cranially, this way or this way, 1 hour every morning, it will markedly increase your serotonin the first time, within 20 minutes.
Really?
Serotonin is the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, feel-good in the morning neurochemical.
So this is called, again, this is the
LIS. Now today, since Saul passed, the patent was bought by a company called Fisher Wallace, and it's all over the internet. They're doing a wonderful job in keeping it going.
Do you sell this on your site? So people...
I don't.
You don't, okay. So they can get the LIS stimulator.
It requires
you
a
can get-
prescription, but they will even give you contact with a physician to get the prescription.
That's wonderful.
And
So don't give up hope. We've talked about just 3 things here, which is the Air Bliss, the LIS, and what's the third one?
the relaxment.
And the relaxment.
These 3 are the most crucial
And I throw in the
for
magnesium
mood.
lotion.
Oh, magnesium lotion, of course.
It's just
but
like a
that's little
no-brainer,
slower.
guys. Okay.
Then you need, if you know, either a truly holistic physician or psychologist to help you. You know, that's great.
Now come on out here, because if it is a past life,
Right.
something,
Yeah, Kathy
then you have
Farmer will
somebody
be
here, which
available.
is so great.
And we'll soon have, hopefully within the next month or 2, we'll have a list of other certified past life therapists. And there's one other thing I want people to think about. If you do anything that is helpful for people, I don't care if it's working in a factory canning vegetables. But I want to give you this story, how it came to me to recognize. In 1966, we had moved into a new home in La Crosse, Wisconsin. It was very hot, muggy, and the toilets dove up. I called an unknown plumber, and I called him, and this man came out, and he looked at me and said, "Doc, where's the cleanout trap?" I didn't know what a cleanout trap was. And they had blacktopped over the cleanout trap in our driveway. And here's this guy, he figured out where it ought to be, and here we are at about 100 degrees, and he's with a pickaxe. And I looked out at him and I said, you know, this guy is contributing to the world as much as I ever can as a neurosurgeon, because I can't get this done without him. So I have never lost that admiration for people doing stuff that helps other people. So the people who run the cameras, the people who put in the floors, the people who, do whatever they do that helps other people. And every productive job, to me, is just as important, because you can't do it all for yourself.
So what you're also saying is, whatever we do is in service to the all, to the greater good, and that everyone should be respected for what they do and respect what they do.
Absolutely. I consider a plumber a saint.
I agree.
Because a plumber can do things that I would throw up at, and do it with a smile.
But also, I think I always say, do something selfish, do something for someone else.
Absolutely.
Serve somebody, because you feel it actually is healing. It's like washing the feet of lepers at St. Francis.
Exactly.
Is that if we give back and we start to heal, it actually will heal you.
Right. The number one way to feel good about yourself is do something for other people.
And then if all else fails, again, as Carolyn May says, get on your knees, say, I surrender, take me out of the picture, show me the truth, and get yourself out of the way.
Exactly.
That's really important.
Right.
Is to just surrender. So your parting words of your wish for the planet and for everyone.
I think the most important thing is to look into the mirror and say, you're okay, I'm okay, because God does not create junk.
I love that. We're all divine. You've helped so many people. I know you know that. You are wiping out all that yucky karma. And I'm so grateful to be here. There's so many tools that Norm is offering us, apart from everything we spoke about. His e-newsletter is incredible. I mean, the last one about Thyme for breast cancer, it's just there's one thing after another, and it's so inspirational. And your spirit does come through, because Norm will buck the system. You need to know you have options. You don't want to be led down a path that is unnecessary and that's going to harm you. Norm has over 32 books. Read them. They're incredible tools. There's publications. Call into his radio show. He is everywhere. There is so much.
By the way, I have another radio show also.
No, I didn't
Hay
know.
House now.
Oh, can you tell us about that?
In addition to my one that I've done for 26 years,
Right.
Here on KWTO, which they can tune into anyway. It's on the internet as well. But I'm on the Hay House Radio, which is also internationally on the internet.
Congratulations. That's really exciting.
It's every Wednesday at noon Central Time.
So there's all of this information. So please, for Norm's sake, empower yourself. Feel good. We love you. We are all one. Thank you. Thank you, Norm, so much. Thanks.